Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. This is the Q&A show on Inside the Birds platform. I'm one of your hosts, Jason Avant. I'm here with my main man, Quintin Mikell. Q, take it over. It's your show. Let's go.
It's my show, baby. No, I am happy to be back. Happy to see your face, man. It's good to see you, my brother. And yeah, man, let's get into it as always.
The Eagles kicked some serious giant butt up there in MetLife Stadium. Before we get into the game, want to say thank you to all the fans that tune in each and every week. Thank you to Adam and Jeff and Josh and everyone that's responsible at Inside the Birds. We appreciate you guys. Make sure that you email your questions to insidethebirds@gmail.com. Again, insidethebirds@gmail.com. We're going to answer your questions a little bit later in the show. Thank you guys for submitting those questions. All right, Q, let's get down to it. The Eagles go up to MetLife Stadium, take a trip up to the Giants' home field, Jersey Turnpike, beat them, blow them out 28-3. Now, this game meant a lot to a lot of people, especially our star running back, which we got from the New York Giants. Saquon Barkley had an outstanding game, rushed for 176 yards. And guess what? He did it in 17 carries. He averaged 10.4 yards a carry. He had my receiver numbers in the National Football League. You know, I'm 10 yards in the cloud of dust. He did that from the backfield. So just your thoughts on the game, playing against a former team. I know you had that experience. I've had that experience. Like, what was going through his brain in order to have a game like this?
Yeah, man. You know, I've had that experience. Mine was a little bit different than this one. I feel like it's crazy because after everything that kind of happened and how it all went down, and the fans and all the things that they were saying about him, and the media and all this, and I know it had to be very, very frustrating for him because talk about a guy, a good person, a leader. He gave everything he could for that organization. Just a class act type of a person, and for the way things went down, I know he was running angry and pissed off, and he plays that way anyway. So I knew, I had a feeling that he was going to come out and have a big day. It was exciting. It was exciting to see him do that. It was exciting to see the Eagles, really commit to the run game, and it was good, man. He all across the board. It was just a phenomenal, for me, a phenomenal win because I already hate the Giants, so I don't care. I don't care how we get the win. As long as we beat the Giants, I'm good. So yeah, that was a beautiful thing to see, man, and I'm happy for
Yeah,
him.
there was just a few things about that. When you are playing your former team, you want to destroy them. Like, you want to go out and play a game like Saquon had. And just to remind them, like, dude, you messed around and found out like that I'm like that. And you guys knew that I was like that, but you got so comfortable with it. You guys put less talent around me. I'm running, basically for my life the entire time. So you guys forgot the talent that you guys actually acquired when drafting me. Now I got to show you what it's like when I got help up front. And also just that Hard Knocks, that whole episode thing, that is going to get someone fired. And I'm sure the Mara family is already like, this GM has to go. He has to go as soon as the season's over. It's probably Dable's job too, and it's unfortunate because I'm sure the coach wanted him, but the general manager had other plans. They didn't think that he was worth it anymore, and it just goes to show you that sometimes it's just cheaper to keep him. Sometimes it's cheaper to keep her. I wanted to do that when I played for the Panthers and coming back here, but we were terrible that season, so I couldn't do anything about it. I got a catch or two, and that's about it. I remember Donovan in 2010 came back here for the first time, and they beat us. So I'm pretty sure he was happy. He was talking junk at the press conference, and it was luck. I missed the pass at the end of that game, which could have won that game, but it was luck that they beat us, and we knew that we were shorthanded. We had a bunch of injuries that game. The next game, we were healthy. And I remember going down there to Washington, and that's when Deshaun and Mike hit that 70-something yarder to start the game, the 80-yard pass to start the game. And I remember us just beating the brakes off of them the entire game. Yeah, so that was fun. That was some get back. But you always want to destroy your former team for sure.
Yeah, man. My experience with that is not very good. So and for me, when I went to the Rams, St. Louis Rams, it was weird for me because it was like, remember they had the lockout, right? So we
Mm-hmm.
were unsure where we were gonna be playing that year. We were trying to figure out where to work out during the summer as a team. Like we had a whole lot of stuff going on with that lockout. And then it was like as soon as it ended, it was like 2 days later I was with the Rams. And so I didn't even really have a chance to really process that before we started the season and who coming out the gate, the Eagles, and coming to St. Louis. So I didn't get the chance to come
Oh,
back
I
and play at the
remember that
link.
game. 2 hours routing up your slot.
First game of the year.
Yeah, I remember
31-13. We got our asses whooped by
that.
the
Yeah, I
Eagles.
remember that
I had a sack though. I got a sack on Vic. I remember that.
game.
Yeah, man. So not a great experience playing my former team myself, but yeah, it was still cool. It was interesting.
All right, Q, let's talk about this. The defense had 8 sacks. They got after it. Now, look at this. 2 games ago, we were 29th in the league when it came to
Yeah,
sacks. We've jumped all the way up to 7th in the National Football League now in sacks. Isn't that crazy? Just 2 games.
that's
We
crazy.
go and get a 6-sack game, then we go and get an 8-sack game, or a 5-sack game and an 8-sack game.
That's crazy. Like that's unheard of numbers. Um,
What is it like? What's starting this? Like, and here's a question. Like, what stood out about Vic Fangio's game playing against the Giants? Like, what's happening? Why are they able to generate so much pressure all of a sudden?
so it's
Is
it's
it
kind of
is
a
it
go
okay? Go.
ahead. No, you got it.
Nope.
I was gonna say it's kind of a mixture of playing some bad offenses.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so it's a little bit of that. It's a little bit of better personnel, which I think bringing getting Slay back definitely helped. I think putting Dejean in at nickels definitely helping. And I think scheme wise, I think the players on the defense are starting to understand this defense. They're starting to understand where they're supposed to be. They're starting to
Mm-hmm.
understand how to get in the lanes. And then you couple that with a defensive front that's very formidable. And when you just can give them time to get there. See, like that was the real big difference with the back seven is that when you're not allowing the defensive line enough time to get those cover sacks, to get that extra step, that under move, that twist, that TE stunt and get in the quarterback's face that makes all the difference. And so to me, I think it's a little bit of a mixture of, guys understanding where they need to be, playing offenses that aren't the best and most explosive right now, but also the D line just kind of cutting it loose and everyone playing, team football. I think that bye week was really crucial for this team to really get together and really understand where they're supposed to be because ever since they came off that bye, they just they look unstoppable right now.
I'm trying to figure it out. I'm seeing Bryce Huff get pressure, not just the sack that he had. That was great. That was his first individual sack of the year. He got point 0.5, last week. So he's been coming around but he generated some pressure. And then Nolan Smith was there all game,
Yeah.
so to see that, I'm pretty sure that they had a come to Jesus type of meeting over the bye week, probably coming out of what we need to do. But the thing that I noticed is that they're eliminating a lot of the first options, right? From the
Yeah.
secondary standpoint. Like they're doing a better job. I don't know if it's Cooper DeJean in there. I don't know if it's just more of an understanding of what Vic Fangio is asking them. I don't know what it is, but they're starting to eliminate the first option. And when that option isn't there, the guys are able to get some pass rush. So I think they're starting to just work better together. And I think it's because they may have had more time to just look at the games and devise a scheme that they think the players, will be successful in. And that's the benefit of having an early bye week and or playing games to see what you're good at, what you're not good at. And I think he's just starting to put guys in position a little bit better. But guys are closer. Slay was aggressive toward the ball at the beginning of that game. Quintin Mikell dropped another pick, and I guess that would be the theme of the season. But he's in position every time.
Hey, as long as they don't catch it, that's all. That's what I say.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
So, um, all right. Well, yeah. I mean, we kind of handled that first. Let me ask you this question, okay?
Okay.
Were you surprised with how difficult it was for the Giants to get the ball to Neighbors?
Yeah. To be honest, yeah, I thought that they do a thing where they try to get him the ball in different positions, and I believe he had 4 for 41, so that's like 10 yards a catch, but he had 8 targets. So 8 targets and you only catch 50% of those, that's really bad. That's really bad. That's inefficient. As far as like pass catching in the National Football League, you want to be in the 80, 90 percent. Like once the quarterback throw you the ball, you want to be the guy that's that like 80%. That's what you want to hire. And he's at 50%. That's losing football. So it was a good job by them, the Eagles, taking him away and realizing where he was, playing a lot of zone coverage. And it seemed like Daniel Jones struggled a lot when it's zone. He does
Yeah.
better versus man to man. But when it's zone and they take away the first option, he looked shook the entire game. And part of it is when you hit a quarterback, they begin to change and become more timid and begin to get the ball out because they begin to think about getting hit. And I think that was a part of it. But yeah, they did a good job of just negating him and taking the first option away. And then Quinyon can cover and Slay can cover. So it wasn't going to be an easy thing anyway when those guys have the right mindset of being aggressive. So that's my thought on it. What about you?
Yeah, no, I agree with you. I'll tell you, I can tell you the exact hit that changed the game for him was the first half. I think it was the second quarter they were driving. N'Kobe Dean came out of a drop
Oh
and
yeah,
smoked Danny, and it was like it was like after that he was a different person. But let me
yeah.
tell you, so there's one thing that really bothers me about young receivers, and maybe you can kind of explain this to me, but it really drives me crazy. Just watching the all 22 tape of Neighbors as a defensive back, as a defensive player, when I have a player as a receiver, as explosive as he is, as good of a receiver as he is, when I can tell pre-snap that you're not getting the ball, that makes my job way easier.
Mm-hmm.
And if you watch his mannerisms and the way he lines up, which we all do as DBs and receivers, I'm sure you guys do that as well. You watch the mannerisms, you watch the way their stance is. When a receiver comes out, a young receiver comes out, and he knows he's getting the ball, he's the primary read. He
He
tightening
the
his
first he
gloves.
the first one to the line of scrimmage.
Yeah. And then when he's not, or it's a run, he's standing straight up. He's just relaxed. If he knows he's not the primary read, he's not running his route hard. And it's something that really drives me crazy because he has so much talent. And I wanted to ask you this, like what kind of effect, like, is this a situation where they need to bring in a veteran presence, someone that's older that kind of show him the ropes to help him? Because I feel like he's not really as effective as he should be. And I think he's really standing in his own way. What do you think?
Well, it's tough in that situation unless the veteran has had more success than him. Usually, ultra talented people don't players don't listen to veteran leadership unless the veteran leadership is better than them. And then they've been able to get away with it because they've been ultra talented, they've been uber talented, so they don't recognize that, oh, this is a tendency which is causing our team to be less effective. And they don't have someone that's on his that can match his skill set. So if there's a bunch of dogs, they'll you kind of make sure that you're at the top. I remember this. I have to give you this story. Braylon Edwards just got inducted into Michigan's Hall of Fame, and he'll probably go down to be in the College Football Hall of Fame. receiver for the Jets, but he was a great college player for sure. He's really really good pro player, but a great college player. Um, and I remember one spring ball, the time where you got to go through, and he's the man. He's going into a senior. I'm going into my junior year. Me and Steve is his junior. We got to get a kid named Adrian Arrington that's behind both of us, and he goes out of spring ball just because he wanted to, because he said he was hurt, but he wasn't really hurt.
Oh yeah.
He missed two practice. He missed the Friday practice. He missed the Saturday practice, which was like a scrimmage. Me and Steve went bananas, like because we were getting more targets, and me and him always could get open. So the
Talk about
quarterback,
Steve Bresson.
yeah.
Oh yeah,
So
okay.
the quarterback completion percentage was like 92% for the entire practice. like because we were running all of Braylon's routes, and Braylon struggled at certain things during that time, but he was a great player. And so we were killing, mossing people, slants, Steve taking it to the house, like I'm over the middle, catching all third downs, like killing it. He came back to practice. The coach was like, "You sure you want to step back?" He's like, "Nope, I'll be back in there tomorrow." And that's what happens. So we put the pressure on him to not miss practice, because it was a bunch of dudes that was, as talented as him, and he was like, felt the pressure, like, dude, I could lose my spot here if I keep messing around. And when you have that in a locker room, it causes people to stay on their stuff. But when you got a guy like Neighbors, and the next guy is Darius Slayton, and then it's the third guy we don't know about, then he can do what he want to do. But yes, you either need a veteran presence that's better than him, or a bunch of dudes that are just like him, that's hungry and that's willing to do it. Like, just think about Emmanuel Sanders and AB, and Mike Wallace was the man. But no, them two young dudes got him up out of there because they were right behind him. I want it. You know what I mean? And that's what you need. And if they don't have it, that's what happens.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's fair.
This is for you. Are you feeling better about the overall state of the pass rush the last 2 weeks? And you kind of talked about this, or do we need to see this against a real offense? Jeff is bad. He bogus for saying a real offense. Man, you got to give Cleveland's a pro offense, Jeff, and so is the New York Giants. They're pros. Nah, I understand what you're saying. Do we need to see it better with the better offensive line team?
Yeah, I mean, I never really thought that the defensive line as a whole was the issue. Obviously Bryce Huff,
Mm-hmm.
it looks like he's starting to come around now. But I think the defense, especially the interior, has never really been the issue. So I think the D line is fine. And like I said, Bryce is coming along, so they'll be fine there. I think I do want to see this against a more explosive offense. I want to see the secondary against a more explosive offense, a better quarterback, a quarterback that will sit in the pocket and can pick you apart and read. Um, Receiver, I mean, you got Jamar Chase coming up. You got
T. Higgins, Jamar Chase in the game.
Mm-hmm. You got, so they got some challenges coming up with these offenses. So this is what I want to see. And it's almost like kind of like a mid-season, preseason deal, right? You got two teams, the Giants and the Browns, that aren't really up to snuff so far, receiver and quarterback wise. And so it's kind of like a lead up into like the real big challenges here in the middle of the season. So I'm excited to see how they adjust and how they play against better talent in the back end. But as far as the defensive, I mean the offensive line, the defensive line, what they're facing, I think we're doing enough right there. I want to see these young guys go against Jamar Chase, go against T. Higgins, CeeDee Lamb,
Whoever else, Terry,
who
Terry going to be giving us the flux. But yeah,
Scary Terry. What's that?
Terry
Yeah.
gives us the flux.
Yeah, exactly. So how do we hold up against those guys?
Yeah, here's my thing about the defense. The one thing I will say about Fangio is that I thought he was creative in his blitz packages, and he's not a guy that's known for blitzing, but he's been able to send guys that are at different positions, whether that's a nickel the last couple games, whether that's N'Kobe Dean, which that's what he does best. When he was at Georgia, he blitzed a little bit more. So he came off a really bad game last game where he was rated as one of the lowest guys on Pro Football Focus, and he came back and had an 11 tackle, 2 sack game in the backfield the entire game. So I'm pretty sure that there was a lot said in the locker room to him, and also in the meeting room. The coaches expected of him, and he was put in a position to make plays. And I love to see him blitz. You see the blitz where the guy cut him and he got up and gave better effort, after that, or and end up with a sack. And then the other one,
Uh-huh.
he was so fast and he timed it up so quick that the blocker couldn't even react to him. So he's definitely has some experience with that. So I like what Fangio did as far as I know a lot of people don't like to see Brandon Graham in coverage or defensive end in coverage, but he did some creative things like that where he rushed forward but dropped the defensive lineman out in coverage,
Yeah,
or extended him away from the line of scrimmage just to reroute a guy and then play the flat. Or you have to be able to do that. It's not something that you do every week, but it's something that's a wrinkle that causes you to look different. And I thought he's starting to be more creative with those things. So that's a positive for me.
absolutely. I agree.
Yeah.
I like that. I love it. All right. So next question. So this one's for you, Jay. So has the change from Maddox to DeJean at nickel made the Eagles more athletic and fundamentally sound?
I definitely think that DeJean is a better athlete than Maddox, and I think that he's a better overall tackler and is a better football player when it comes to awareness. That's the one thing that you can look at on film with DeJean is that even if he's not making a play, he's forcing a play back because he's in the right position. And people were talking about him getting stiff armed on the sideline by Daniel Jones. That's one of those plays where you're at a disadvantage as a defensive back because you can't really go full speed and hit the quarterback in that situation because if you step out, you're in like so it's kind of tough for anybody. I hate that they really can't go after him and then the dude and want to look tough after the play. Dude, he's just trying to get you out of bounds without getting a penalty. He don't want to get fined 40 grand for hitting you. You know what I mean? So
Yeah.
but but yeah, like he didn't have a big game when it comes to stats, but I thought that he's sound and in the right spot. I do want to see him versus man to man and some good coverage, right? And some good receivers, like you said. That's the only question I have for him. I think he can blitz. I think that I want to see him take on a blocker in the blitz. I said that already. But I also want to see him in some man to man versus a really good corner because I think that he has to learn how to get hands on you. He didn't do that much at Iowa, where you got to him because he's a bigger dude. He got to get hands on you and keep you in front rather than run with you because he's just as fast. That don't work in the NFL. If you press somebody, you better put some hands on you. You're not that fast,
Yeah.
because these dudes can run too. You know what I mean? So I
Especially
want to see that.
especially inside when you
Yeah, you better touch him because he can go anywhere. Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. Let's go. Let's
Yeah.
transition Q to the Eagles offense. I'm gonna ask you the question first. Should the Eagles be a run first team from here on out? And then we can go back to the first one.
No, no, I don't think they should be a run first team. I think this team should be a whatever it takes to win first team. There's gonna be some games where teams they're not going no matter how hard you try, they're not gonna let you just
Mm-hmm.
come down and dink and dunk or take big shots down the field. And then you adjust the game, you adjust the game plan, and you get under center and you run the ball when you have to. And that's exactly what happened this week. By the way, we saw a little bit of Jalen under center, right? Which
Yeah.
we've been talking about all camera. That's part of the Kellen Moore style system. So it was good to see that. Um, but yeah, I think this team needs to do whatever it takes to win. And if that means, like I said, under center, running the ball, run first, that's fine. If that works, because you got all these weapons, right? You brought Saquon here for a reason, right? That's the reason. Okay, when you play a team that refuses to let you, dink and dunk or throw the ball down the field, guess what? We got another weapon right here. And so I love it, man. Just whatever it takes to win, let's just do it, get done with it, and move on. So I love it.
I I think when it comes to this is that I think we should be a run first team. And I get what you're saying that we should be a whatever it takes to win team. And that's fine. I love that. I think that we should be a run first team because I think that there's a significant um, advantage because our offensive line blocks the run extremely well. There is chasms for Saquon. Like it took him a while because he started out with 7 rushes for like 16 or 19 yards. I can't remember off the top of my head, but his first 7 rush attempts were like, and then he popped one. You know what I mean?
Hmm.
Like it wasn't good. First 7, 8 rush attempts. So you have to stick with it. The run game takes a little bit time to get cooking at times, right? But he's a guy that can take one of those, small crevices and make it a 40-yard run, a 30-yard run, a 50-yard run, whatever it may be. So I think that we run block better than we pass protect. I just think we do. Not saying that we're bad at pass protection. I just think that it's significantly better than our pass protection. And even though Jalen had a bunch of time in this game, I'm not taking it away from the offensive line, but I just think that our offensive line love when we call run plays. That's what it looked like. It looks like it gives them the juice, the mojo. Like, okay, we're gonna run the ball today. All right, let's do this. Right? So I think that's our team, and also I think it helps Jalen. He doesn't have to be perfect, but the only way you can be a run first team if your defense goes out there and do what they did consistently because we can't start the way we're starting and then think that we're going to be able to run the ball like that because what happened in Tampa, we're down 21-0 or whatever it may be, and that's what that can happen with the Bengals. Like you go out there and you start slow, we get down 17-0, 14-0, 10-0. Now running the ball is starting to look a little bit different now because we're like, dude, we're wasting time. And then they're continuing to score and all that. So our defense allowed us to be a run first team because they were able to stop the Giants offense pretty handily. So that's the only way those two things can work. We can be a run first team, but our defense has to play the way that it did. If not, we're going to do what everybody else does, and that's whatever it takes to win. And whatever it takes to win looks different when you're down 10 or 14.
Yeah, that's fair.
Yeah. So then I
Complimentary
think
football.
yes, I think it helps out Jalen. I think it creates an identity. I think that it gives you easier throws down the field. It's a bunch of advantages to it. Yes.
Yeah, I agree.
Yeah. I,
So it's like the run game for offensive lineman is like a blitz for defense. It's
yeah. Exactly.
it's it's like you get to cut loose and have some fun instead of playing zone all day.
Yeah, everybody like when it's a blitz. You're like, oh, it's a blitz. I don't have to sit there and worry about covering my dude all the way over here because the ball gonna come out. You know what I mean? Like you get a chance to be aggressive when you blitz.
Yeah,
Everybody on defense does because if you understand the blitz and you love like you get it blitz, it's like, oh man, they in a scat possession. If we don't show this blitz, we're gonna get somebody home free. You know what I mean? Like so you know that, and so now you can be aggressive on the back end. It's the same way. The offensive
yeah,
line is like run the ball. Oh man, like they are excited. Let's do it. Let's keep doing it. That's all you hear. The first before the running back say anything, the offensive line is already in the coach ear. Run the ball, man. Run the ball. That's all you hear in the sideline. When they give up sacks, first of all, they give up the sacks, right? And then they start complaining, hey man, we need to run the ball. Oh, dude, you need to protect and stop giving up sacks. But that's like their answer to when they get beat. Man, just run it.
and the receivers are just over there looking like, hey man.
No, just block him, bro. Just block him. Stop making excuses. Not right now. Stop trying to mess up my cheese. That's what he's saying. out there with Devontae, -2 yards receiving, messing around with y'all running the ball.
Oh man.
Yeah.
All right. All right. So here's another one for you. All right. Jalen Hurts, he made some nice throws. He did good, right? Um, he didn't see a couple of open ones. Overall, how do you view his game against the Giants?
Ah, I'm trying to be positive, you guys. I want it to be positive. Positive. We won. And that's all that matters. And then you asked me a loaded question about Jalen Hurts. He completed 10 out of 14 passes. He completed one on 4th and 3 to A.J. Brown. He's had great ball placement on that throw. That's all I want to talk. No, let me stop. All right. So Jalen Hurts, 10-14. That's really good. Ball placement, completion percentage is up. Misses a lot of targets. And the reason he misses a lot of targets is because he wants the big play. And we know this about Jalen. Jalen is not a check down quarterback. It's not something that he wants to do. Checking it down is like pulling teeth with him. It's like, dude, I don't want to do that. No, I want to eat more candy. I don't want to take care of these teeth. I would rather, deal with the consequences later. That's just how he is. I'm going to check it down as late as possible. Even the one when Saquon truck stick the dude, Benton, if I remember correctly, when he trucked him on the sideline, he had Saquon there for 2 seconds. He had a dude over the middle for like 2 or 3 seconds. He's still looking down the field. They're about to sack him. He was like, oh, let me throw it to the sideline. Now, that's not how that works. You look through your progression, and when you get done looking through your progression, you automatically check it down. You don't say, hey, look through my progression. Hey, you guys work harder to get open, and then I check it down. That's not how that works. It's like, oh, 1, 2, 3, check it down. That's how it's supposed to go. Get the ball out of your hand. There's a clip with Lamar Jackson saying, look, man, I'm going to get that ball out of my hand fast. He's starting to figure it out, and it's hard for teams to adjust and to adapt. So Jalen has to understand that there is value in getting the ball to the check down at the right time, because if you get it to him when you're supposed to, they get a chance to catch and run. So even though it looks like they're only going to get 3 yards, they can end up getting 4, 5, 7 yards, and now you're in the third and manageable because you got it to them at the optimal time. So that has to get better. The other thing is that he has to be able to generate more offense inside the numbers. If you look at Jalen Hurts' production, most of the time it's outside the numbers to A.J. Brown, to Devontae Smith. You get a few over the middle, but it's not consistent. So you got to be able to go through your progression and get some yards over the middle of the field, because guess what? They can take that away immediately if they just play cover 2. If they play cover 2 and figure out a way to get you in a longer yard situation and play cover 2, you can't even use those guys out there. So you got to be willing to go in the middle of the field and take what the defense gives you. So Jalen Hurts played a good game, had left a lot of yards out there. I'm talking about a lot of yards. And a lot of those yards had to do with just his ability, his inability to just, play the game the right way. Play within structure. You don't have to make a Hail Mary if you take care of the stuff at the beginning of the game. Now you're in position. You don't have to, depend on the wing and the prayer. Last thing I'll say about that is this. Look at the Arizona Cardinals. The Arizona Cardinals is a team that literally can beat any team in the NFL, but they only can beat them when Kyler Murray's doing Superman type of stuff. That's the only way they can beat him. And it's too hard to play Superman the entire time in NFL. At the end of the season, you can do Superman 5 times, and you look up and you 5-12. You know what I mean? But those 5 games, you think, man, the Arizona Cardinals can beat anybody because he did it versus the Ravens or did it versus this team, like the team that they weren't supposed to be, because he can be special at times. But guess what? You cannot sustain it. And that's what we want from Jalen. We want offense that he can continue to sustain. Now, I give him all the credit in the world. They took advantage of a team that was lesser than them. A.J. Brown is the man, understand how to get him the ball. So I think it's a step in the right direction. I think it's a step in the right direction depending on the run game and giving him that time to develop in this offense. So I'm liking where it's heading. But yes, he has to do a lot more in order for us to be a playoff team and or a real contender. Because right now, we're not real contenders. We have to work toward being real contenders. We have the ingredients of being a real contender. But as of right now, the way we are right now, we're not a real contender just yet.
Got you.
All right,
Well,
that was a lot.
let me.
But yeah.
Well, let me. I don't want to belabor it, but I do have one more question because a couple of
Okay.
those throws I watched, like you can really tell teams are really packing in the middle of the field, right? And there was a couple of crossing routes I think he could have thrown, but there was a couple where it's like, okay, wasn't perfectly clean. Like I can see maybe why he wouldn't want to throw that. How much do you think his turnover issues that he's had earlier in the year kind of come into play with that? Like maybe he's not throwing that because he doesn't want to take a chance, and maybe it could be he's getting overcoached on the turnover stuff, but maybe that's what it is. Like, how much of it do you think is that? Like he's just trying not to turn the
Nah,
ball over?
nah,
No.
nah. I think that I think he wants too much at times. I just think that, and that's it. Like the one to Devontae, we had a 4th and 3 where AJ caught the touchdown for the 41-yard touchdown, or whatever it was. There
Hmm.
was a 2nd and 3 before, a 3rd and 3 before that.
Yeah.
Devontae it was a mesh concept. It was basic. I forgot the name of the route we used to call that, but it was basically like an over the ball hook and
Spacing.
no, no, I wasn't spacing. It was an over the ball, like or 10 or 12-yard over the ball. We run that guy over. It's 2 people going this way, and then he comes underneath. It's basically a mesh concept. The play is designed for Devontae Smith. He
Yeah.
runs scot free right across Jalen Hurts' face.
I
He's
know what you're
looking at
talking about.
AJ Brown on a go route.
Yep.
That's what he was looking. He was like, and he was covered. So, but he had made up in his mind that AJ should get this ball for some reason and forgot everything else. And now people start getting in your face. Another thing that doesn't help him is that he's not the biggest guy. So he's not going to see the way that's why anticipation and understanding defenses is so important for him. Because if you understand the defense, you don't have to see the receiver. You know where a guy should be, right? You have an idea before the snap when the line is down, before those 6'5", 6'6" dudes stand up. You got an understanding of where the guy, oh, he just blitzed off the edge. There's nobody in the flat. Oh,
Gotcha.
he was in this position. I can't see him right now, but based on the backside safety, he should be inside right now. So I got something outside. You're eliminating all of these things as you go, and therefore, if you hear Drew Brees speak and you hear him talk about the game late, as a person that's out of the game, he'll tell you that, man, maybe 30% of the time I didn't even see my receiver.
Mm. Oh yeah, I believe that. I
I
believe
didn't
that.
even see him. He said, I didn't even see him. I just know what the defense showed me, and he should be there.
That's crazy.
You know what I mean? Like, and that's how the game is played. It's not played with, and he's a read and react guy when it's too late. You got to be a proactive guy. You got to be a guy that is not reacting. You already have a plan based on what you see. And that's his progression. He's a read and react guy right now. It's too late. We need a proactive person that is eliminating things up front and have a plan for the ball before it happens. And if that plan doesn't happen, you may miss a guy, but you missed the guy because it was supposed to go here. Something went wrong, and I just checked it down. Oh, the guy popped backside. Okay, forget that. It's too late. Too late. Quarterback tell you that all the time. Listen. It was too late. This play was messed up. I ain't doing it. Check it down. Get open on
Fair.
time.
That's fair.
You know what I
Okay.
mean?
Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
All right. But this is a building block game. It is, because I think it's one of those things where the Eagles have a chance to depend on the offensive line. Jalen gets a chance to look at it, see that I missed a few open guys, but we're still able to dominate. First time we have beat a team by 2 touchdowns, and I don't know how long. So that definitely is a building block game for him.
Okay.
Q, let's get to some questions, bro. Let's get to some questions.
Okay.
That cool?
Yeah, I'm good with that.
All right. So I didn't miss any of yours, did I? I don't think I
No, no,
missed
no.
any.
We're good. Yeah.
All right. So this one is from Christopher B. Do you think Mr. Lurie will have a problem with how they won? Also, has Quinyon replace Slay as the number one corner. Whoo! I'm looking at you.
Oh.
Look how I'm looking at you. I'm trying to see what you're gonna say.
All right, Mr. Lurie.
Do you
I
think?
don't think I
What do
don't
you
think
think?
I personally don't think this one game, I don't think he's going to have a problem with how they won. But I do think that if it continues to be a run first, uh, couple, 100-yard uh, game, even though they're winning, I think it all comes down to this. And they invested a lot of money in that guy throwing the ball. And if he's not throwing the ball, they're going to start to say, well, why are we paying him all this money, even if you're winning? So I do think that that's always part of the issue. But I think for this game, maybe a couple games, you got to do whatever it takes to win. But I do think that I know this front office. I know that um, they like to throw the ball, and it's part of the overall plan and the vision of this team. I know they like to put a lot of pressure on the opposing defenses, so I do think that eventually, if it continues down this road, I don't think they'll be too happy about that. And as far
Mm-hmm.
as Quinyon Mitchell, hey, listen, phenomenal young player, still a rookie, got a long way to go.
He's
Slay
got a
been
long
doing
way
this
to
for a
go.
long time. And I don't know, has he even gotten his first pick yet, Quinyon Mitchell? Has he got one? No, he hasn't caught one
No,
yet,
he didn't
right?
drop them all.
He dropped, yeah, no, he ain't ready yet. Now, he started picking these bad boys off, maybe year 2, 3, we can start to, maybe put that crown somewhere maybe above there, but he still ain't there yet. Slay's still that man. He's still the man. So as
Yeah.
old as he is, old Thundercat, as they say, I
Mm-hmm.
still think Slay's got him just a little bit, but he's eventually gonna get there.
Yeah.
What do you think?
I don't know about the Mr. Lurie thing. I don't want to comment on it because I don't know. I don't know how it is. I think that I think there's remember all of these things are contingent upon the thought of the scouts, the organization, and also how the league is viewing a player. So if it's starting to be determined that Jalen doesn't do as well with more targets, I think that they have to adjust the standard of what he needs to do based on what is successful, what he does successful. And if running the ball causes him to be more successful in the pass game and it gives him more balance, it makes them more potent, then I don't see how you can gainsay that, how you can say something different about that. If this dude was a gunslinger and he's proven to be a gunslinger, maybe that's a different subject. But I don't think that Jalen is like a gunslinger. I think that he's getting better, but I think that the run game really helps him. So I think that they should just chill and let it play out rather than trying to 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 get in that, to interject in that. I think so. Now, as far as Quinyon, got a long way to go. He's a good young player. He plays in spurts and has some stuff. He hadn't seen he hadn't seen Devontae Adams yet. He hadn't seen Jamar Chase yet. He hadn't seen Justin Jefferson yet. Like there's a bunch of dudes that are playing and yes, has he seen some good players? Yes, he's seen some good players, but there's a lot in this league. He hadn't faced Tyreek Hill yet. Like there's a bunch in this league, right? So Darius Slay has been proven. Is he older? Yes, he's older, but there's a lot of nuance to this game. And Darius Slay's been battle tested. Let him teach the young guy how to do it rather than anointing him.
Yeah,
Before he's proven himself at the highest end. He's done good, but at the highest end, we got to see that.
yeah.
You know?
Consistently.
Yeah, at the highest end. Like when you got to go out there and D up one of them ones. You know what I mean?
Oh
You got
yeah.
you got Jamar Chase this week. He one of them ones. Like he's one of them. You do well against him, then I'll be like, all right, let's go. Until then, I love what you're doing. But
Keep it
yeah,
up.
keep
Keep
it
it
up.
up.
But it's a long
Yeah.
way to go. All right.
All right.
Go ahead.
Here's this. This is from Andy S. Are there any former Eagles who are currently playing for other teams that the Eagles should have kept? Like Rasul Douglas, Rodney
Nope.
McLeod, TJ Edwards, Marcus Epps, Derek
Mm-mm.
Barnett, Zacchaeus, I can't ever say his
Yeah.
name.
Mm-hmm.
Alameda Zacchaeus or Mac
Mm-hmm.
Hollins.
TJ Edwards. TJ Edwards
Yeah.
is the one that you that he became successful in your program, played an outstanding season, got paid minimal. With the Bears, was it? Uh,
Uh, I think the Bears, yeah.
yeah,
Let's see.
got paid, like not much money, and I think that he still will be starting right now. And I think that N'Kobe Dean would have been better at outside linebacker anyway. You know what I mean? So I think that that's the one out of all of these guys. I think that's the one that I bet you the Eagles regret because I think he was becoming a Pro Bowl type of player in your system. So he was solid that year, so solid for a guy that
Yeah.
can't run. He knew where the ball was.
Yeah. No,
Yeah,
he's a good player, man.
yeah. What about you?
Yeah, I mean, out of all these players, yeah, TJ, I agree. TJ Edwards.
Mm-hmm.
Um, you know, most of these guys have gone on and they've had pretty
Some
solid
success, yeah.
careers.
Mhm.
Rasul Douglas, it's kind of tough because when he was here, he wasn't living up to what
Yeah,
what he was thought of. Rodney's a little bit older. Marcus Epps, we talked about him in the past. Barnett kind of was never really
yeah, never
amounted
panned
to
out.
much.
Yeah,
So yeah, I think TJ out of that list of players, I think TJ is probably the only person um that's had flourished after he's left. Nelson Aguilar. What about Nelson?
no. I think we had the best of Nelson Aguilar when he was here. Well, no, the Patriots had the best Nelson Aguilar because he was balling a little bit when he was with the Patriots. Um, yeah, he was balling a little bit when he was with the Patriots.
Yeah.
Uh, now, here's my last thought. My last thought of the program. Nick Sirianni on the hot seat last week for the comments and the things with the fans. This week says less, better results. Think that is something that I think he should practice. From this standpoint, you like for him to be bombastic and loud, strident, whatever you want to call it, right? So I think that Nick Sirianni should just chill, be himself, just not with the fans, especially our fans. If you want to get into it with the coach or the opposing team player, whatever it is, just know that it's putting a target on your back. And here's the other thing is that you want to be the person that's the big brother in the room. You're the head coach. You're not a player. You're not we're not it's like your kid that think they're friend. Like, no, I'm your parent. I'm your parent. We can be cool, but I'm still your parent at the end of the day. So I thought that him being less in the media kind of helped the team out this week. That's just my thought. That's my preference, and I did that just so I can argue with you about this. So I think that he should say less and do more. Say less and do more. Great job this week, coach. Taking yourself out of the equation. Great job.
I disagree. I think he should not only should he say more, he should say it louder. He needs to. I would love to see him with a big boom box, like one of them giant boom boxes, like holding it on his shoulder, just walking into the stadium, walking on the field. Like,
Oh
yeah,
my.
let's go. That's what I want to see. Crazy Nick. I want to see Crazy Nick Sirianni with the haircut, looking like he ain't slept in 3 days, talking trash to the fans, talking trash to everybody. I want to see it. We don't care. No, no, seriously though, I get what you're saying. I understand that, but whatever it
You
takes
like
for
it.
this, I loved it. I loved it, man. I absolutely loved it because you know what? Because it. it gives him an edge. There's some people that just need something to be angry about. You ever know those people that they just want to
Need an
fight for no
excuse to be
reason?
angry. Need an
Yeah.
excuse.
And I feel like he's one of them type of people, and it kind of focuses him in, and it gets him focused on one single thing. And I think, with everything that's happened with, all the changes and the new coordinators and all other stuff, he's kind of lost himself and lost control. And so I'm all for it, man. We need Crazy Nick. Go out there, go talk your ish, go out there and do what you gotta do. I love it. Keep going. It was too
I'm gonna
quiet. It was too
I'm
quiet.
going to agree to disagree. All I'm saying is that they had their best offensive performance in a while. Also, the defense played lights out with him saying less. That's all I'm saying. Maybe the proof is in the pudding. That's all I'm saying. He was in the hot seat. He said less. He coached better.
How much fun is that though? It's not fun.
Whatever. I like the results, Q. This is the Q&A show. Thank you guys for tuning in, to Adam, to Jeff, Josh, everyone behind the scenes. We appreciate you, and to the fans, thank you for tuning in to another episode. Q, you got the last word.
As always, we appreciate all the love and support. Thank you guys. It's been fun. We're going to continue to do this thing, and we'll see you guys all next week. Peace.
Peace.